Right now in DC News Now at 4, the rain is clearing up as we head into the end of the week. Meteorologist Scott Sumner tells us how long it will stay nice. Plus, a battle over DC's power to control its own money is heating up on Capitol Hill.
Anybody who thinks, oh, this might lower our taxes, it will not. It will cause financial devastation in the city.
The new congressional proposal, Mayor Bowser says, could hurt the district's recovery.
A Prince George's County police murder suspect arrested after 6 years on the run. Why police say it took so long.
And it's time for a grocery price check. We're stretching your dollar with the cheapest things you can save on at the store.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
And that's for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall. The DMV is still recovering from last night's storms, and we have some drone footage capturing flooding on the Brighton Dam Road in Brookville. Now, that's in Montgomery County, Maryland. Heavy rain caused the nearby Hollings River to overflow. All right, let's check in with meteorologist Scott Sumner, who's in for meteorologist Damon Matson, who will join us later this evening. Scott, any flooding concerns today?
Well, yeah, I mean, some of the small streams, rivers, and creeks that are out there, Mark, could still be overflowing their banks in spots, especially the smallest of those rivers, streams, and creeks. Right now, we don't have any flood warnings or flood watches put into place, but we'll watch it closely here over the next couple of hours. We see a stream of rain that is continuing to move over the same areas. That could create some localized flooding here. Right now over by Huckleberry and over towards Belle Alton area. This is down south of DC. Here's Washington. You can see the distance here. We're seeing some rain there, but no heavy, intense rain. I've widened out the view to show you where those rain showers are. And again, as I said yesterday, I said earlier at the noon show, most of the activity will be south of DC. That's where the most inclement weather would be. Lightning strikes just a couple hours ago were at 0. Now they're climbing up to 12, but that's minimal compared to what we had seen last night. And you can see again some futurecast radar showing those showers continue in the same area. One of the places that may see a little bit of action here is the Severn River at Annapolis over the next 48 hours, pressing that action stage at 2 feet. That is overnight Thursday going in towards Friday. So this is one of the places that may see a little minor flooding there. We'll have more details about your the forecast for tonight and your 7-day forecast coming up. Mark?
All right, Scott, thank you. Noon this afternoon, the bus driver accused in a deadly crash along I-95 in Stafford back in May. One step closer to being released pending trial. A Stafford County judge granted bail conditions for 48-year-old Jing Dong, facing 5 counts of involuntary manslaughter. But it doesn't mean he's being released right away. DC News Now's Randy Bass was in the courtroom as the judge made his decision. She joins us live from Stafford County. Good afternoon, Randy. What's the latest?
Yeah, Mark, just because this bus driver was granted bond today, $25,000 secured bond, it still could be quite some time before Jing Dong is released from the Rappahannock Regional Jail. He's been in either the hospital or behind bars since this May 29th crash that killed 5 people from Massachusetts. He faces those 5 involuntary manslaughter counts and a maximum of 50 years behind bars. In addition to posting the $25,000 bond set by the circuit judge today, he has to surrender both his U.S. and Chinese passports, surrender his driver's and CDL licenses. He's not to drive any vehicle of any kind, and the big one here, he's not allowed to leave Virginia. He has to provide an address here where he will be placed on house arrest. His defense said that could prove difficult. His wife and 17-year-old son live in Staten Island, where he owns a home. The Commonwealth today showing multiple videos and photos of the crash in court, now placed under seal, showing the moment of impact leading to that fiery crash and the damage left behind. This is not the end of Jing Dong's potential bond hearings, though. He still has to have another hearing in General District Court where some of his other cases remain. Dong's defense attorney spoke after today's hearing.
I anticipate that. Hopefully they're going to be very practical about that, since we argued it. And so then he'll have the same terms and conditions that he has in the circuit court as in General District Court. Now the issue becomes he has to stay in Virginia. That's going to be a tough one. The judge did what he should do, I guess. I think it was fair.
And And coming up at 5, what comes next in the case and when we could see more action here at the Stafford County Courthouse, plus how soon Jing Dong could actually be out from behind bars. In Stafford, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
Randy, thank you. A man accused of secretly filming himself touching women's hair on Metro Rail will have to wait longer for trial. Today, a DC judge granted prosecutors' request to delay the case against Brian Bettencourt. Back in April, a judge ordered him held in jail after his rearrest on stalking charges and said that he had to be tried within 100 days. His trial has now been moved to August, meaning that he'll have been in jail for over 100 days. He remains behind bars on other charges. Well, 3 people took off running after jumping out of a car during a federal enforcement operation on Clara Barton Parkway earlier this morning. U.S. Park Police say that police officers were conducting a commercial vehicle enforcement detail with other federal agencies when those inside got out and ran away. ICE is leading the case, and we're working to learn more about what happened and whether anyone has been taken into custody. Well, police have arrested a teenager accused in a robbery and shooting in Northwest D.C. Police say that 2 victims, including a young kid, were shot after meeting with suspects to sell an item posted online. Investigators say that the suspect tried to take the property before pulling out a gun and shooting both victims. The 17-year-old has been arrested and is being charged as an adult. Well, in the district, D.C.'s authority to pass its own tax laws is in jeopardy. The House Oversight Committee advancing a measure that would require Congress to approve any additions or increases to local D.C. taxes. It's an effort that's receiving major backlash from residents and also city leaders. DC News Now's Mariel Carbone joins us live on Capitol Hill, where they're there to vote today. Mariel, what's the latest? What can you tell us?
Well, Mark, this vote really moving forward along party lines here today and advancing out of that committee. Now, this is just another effort by House Republicans to expand their authority over local D.C. government, and D.C. officials say that this is the most devastating blow yet to D.C. home rule. Now, Kentucky Representative James Comer is the one who introduced the D.C. Taxing Authority Review Act. It would require congressional approval within 60 days of any bill passed by D.C. Council that imposes or increases a tax or fee. He pointed to a recent study ordered by council to consider a business activity tax, a bill introduced to consider a wealth proceeds tax, as well as a new fee added to third-party delivery services as reasons why this is necessary. But opponents argue that the bill would also prevent D.C. from cutting taxes and that it would paralyze D.C.'s tax code. They also say it would really interfere with D.C.'s ability to do anything at all.
We wouldn't be able to respond to things like the massive job loss that came as a result of this administration. It also would destroy DC's economy because the bond markets would essentially blacklist us because we have no control, and control of our local budget would be with a Congress that doesn't do anything.
And it's important to point out Congress can already prevent D.C. from passing laws. One is a law there is where.
All right, we're having some technical problems with Mariel. We'll hear from her again at 5. Red Line riders should expect delays today after water caused signal issues near the Van Ness station. Metro says the trains are running every 6 to 12 minutes between Friendship Heights and Glenmont, and some trains may offload at DuPont Circle to help manage traffic. Crews are on scene working to fix the problem. Well, new reaction today from riders after Metro announced plans to add a new safety feature along the Red Line. The transit agency is looking to install platform screen doors at Red Line stations, creating a barrier between riders and the tracks. Metro says the move is part of its Red Line modernization project, which also includes plans to train automation. Right now, crews are surveying stations and conducting structural assessments and reviewing historical considerations before moving forward.
Want to get there, they'll find a way to get around it. You know, the fare gates, they put that up, but every now and then you still see people jump the gates, so it'll help, but it won't eliminate it.
Well, Metro has not announced a timeline for when the platform screen doors would be installed. Well, it's about to be a packed night in Navy Yard tonight. Musician Noah Kahn is playing at Nats Park. It's all part of his The Great Divide tour. The show is also sold out, so be prepared. The doors open at 5 p.m. The concert begins at 6:30. Still ahead on DC News Now, for nearly 6 years after a murder at a Landover apartment complex, police arrested their suspect. Why investigators say that he was able to evade them for such a long time. Plus, a heads up, Alexandria residents, the city's new ban on gas-powered leaf blowers starts soon. How much longer you'll have until you need to switch or face a fine. Ahead at 4:30, the remains of 4 U.S. service members killed in the recent Iranian attacks are now back home. A look at the dignified transfer at Dover Air Force Base. 4:11, you're watching DC News Now at 4. Covering the news we live all across the region. We're back with more news and weather in 2 minutes.